Hello, ladies. How are you today? It's me without a hat. All right, I thought I'd try to show you a little bit of what you're going to be doing on your iPhone. So, let's see if this works. I've recorded some video on my iPhone. I'm going to watch it on my screen as I narrate, and we'll see how this works. So, okay. So, what you should be seeing in a moment, if you're not already, is where I keep my NFL fantasy football screen. Here it comes. So I'm moving my mouse and I'm bringing it up. Okay, so it's going to be very similar for all of you guys. And immediately you can see I'm on this tab which says players. Okay, that's the tab for your team. So no, actually I'm on the tab for team. This is my team. It shows all the positions. The second group down below is my bench. You can see that down there. And I'm moving up to my players. And it says that, let's see what I highlight in a moment. I'm showing the optimize button. There you are. So under the team, you press that. That means you'll get, the computer projects that you will get 2 points more than you otherwise have for your lineup. So here I've pressed the matchup. You can see I'm playing XY, which is me, is playing Watch My Back, which is Adrian. And then you can see we've got 5 sets of dots down here because there's 10 teams in 5 games. And each time I swipe to the, I guess, right to left, we see the matchups that are coming. Here's Maria versus Andrea. And the last one is Monica versus Charlene. So I'm just swiping back to get to mine. And my players are down on the left side and Adrian's player down on the right side. I'm just scrolling down with my finger. Okay. And up above, I'm pointing out to what the projected points are for when we play. So I think, it's hard for me to see, but I think looks like I'm going to win by about 10 points. And I'm going to pause for a second. And let's see if I can back this up, because I want to show you something here. Give me one moment. Here we are. Whoops. Right about there. So, you can't see it, but it looks like I have 15 points more projected points to beat Adrian. It is amazing. Even if we went into the game with this final lineup, one touchdown and suddenly the points are reversed. So you obviously want to be playing from a position of strength. You don't want to be losing or going in with a weaker hand, but you shouldn't either be freaked out by that either. It changes so quickly. So I'm going to continue on in a moment. The reason why I paused was you'll notice that under Elijah Mitchell for the San Francisco 49ers that Adrian has, this little Q, little question, it's a little orange circle. It has a Q inside of it at the bottom of the circle where his sort of breastplate is. So, or as Kim would call it, your torso. So I'm going to press onto his little tile there, and you're going to see information. So I'm going to continue this on now. So we should get video going. And there we go. So it explains what we're thinking about with this guy, the preseason outlook. After every game, it might take a day or two. If you press it, it will say how he performed and what the analysis is and what you might see from him next week. It might say, oh, he's going against a really tough team that's good against the running back next time. Here is, I pressed on the stats page of his, and you can see these are the points that he's gotten. Now, we haven't had a game, so I'm switching to the 2021 season, and now you can see the points that he had. So his first game last season, he had a bunch, and then he had 7, and he had 0, and he had 0. Maybe he didn't play. He had 16. So it fluctuates. He had 19. These are great scores, okay? On the left-hand side, I'm circling the colors of the different matchups that are coming. A red matchup means that this player doesn't have a good matchup, projected matchup. I'm going to pause for a moment. And I'm going to just rewind it just a tad because I keep missing it. So I'm going to just back that up just a little bit here. Okay, here we are. So I was talking about red, but this green matchup says when he plays the Detroit Detroit Lions, it's a favorable matchup to this player. So it's green, like you want to play him. And indeed, he got 16 points. Then he had another favorable matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles And he only got 7 points. But notice, he probably didn't play against Seattle. So it was a favorable match, but he got 0. Maybe he was injured. Probably was, if we looked into it. Black is kind of like medium, and red, which we saw a moment ago, means it's not necessarily a favorable matchup. But you frequently find you've got these green matchups coming, and they do lousy. And sometimes you find they've got these red matchups coming, and they do great. So it's just indications when you're looking for something. Okay, I'm going to continue on now. So back we go. And where am I now? Now I'm on the Players tab, the second one to the left at the bottom. And I'm simply looking at all the players that exist. They're all players. So I just clicked on a one and I get more information. He doesn't have to be in your field. This says he's on waivers. I've talked about waivers before in emails. I'm also showing all the players, okay, for all the positions right now. I can say just clicked on quarterback, and now I'm just looking at all the quarterbacks. Now, I think, I don't have my glasses on, you guys, I'm sorry, but I think it says who has each player. So I have XY. So XY is Justin Herbert, I have that player. And this person is Milton. So Andre has that player. And if we go, and they're organized currently by the most points. So it makes sense that the most projected points, everybody's going to already have these top players. But I can go into this little tab and I can say, just show me the available players. Okay. And now I'm seeing those players that are not on anybody's list. Now I'm freezing that for a second. Why would you want to do that? Because I talked about in my emails that you're going to be managing a team. Sometimes you might find you actually want a different quarterback. Or your quarterback is injured and you need to go to the waiver wire or trade in for one that somebody doesn't have. And now we're looking at all the available ones. Obviously, at least at this point in time, they're not as good because the computer just dealt out what it thinks are the best quarterbacks right now. So you can do that for your different positions. We're looking at quarterbacks. You're looking at available ones for your wide receiver or your tight end or what have you. So I'm going to continue on. All right, so I'm just kind of moving around and showing you that with my mouse. Okay, so what I'm showing you here was, let's back that up just a tad, right there. So see the plus sign there? Let's say I want to add one of these players. I think I'm about to add Trubinsky, okay? Maybe I want to add him to my bench. Maybe he's doing great, or I just want to hold him back there. He's had a couple games. I'm not quite ready to play him. So I hit that plus sign, and I'm going to move it forward. And there we are. And I'm going to try to freeze it for a second. So I select that I want him. And now it says up above, this move will put you over your roster limit. Select which player to drop. So now I have to actually go drop a player. And if I go down, I think I'm going to in a moment, I'm probably not going to remove one of my starters. I'll probably swap out a bench player. I did this yesterday, so I don't remember. So let's go to play and see. I'm adding Trubinsky. I'm pointing out that I have to drop another player. And I'm scooting down to find the player I want to drop. I'm not actually going to do it. But let's say I wanted to drop, see now I'm at my bench players. Maybe I want to get rid of Trevor Lawrence. So I would click that and then I'd hit the add to waiver wire. Now that is a little more complicated. Everything's on waiver wire. Actually, it probably just fell off it. But if we were a couple days past the end of the week, it would just be a trade and it would just happen just like that. And I'm just trying to get you familiar with the app, not all the intricacies of this at this stage. So let's continue on. I can see I'm almost done. Okay. So where am I now? Now I'm showing you for running backs. So now I'm just looking at the available running backs. And they're organized by projected points for this week. And then across the side, it's going to show what they are projected for the rest of the season, or how many passes they got, how many yards, blah, 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 blah. And you can see that this guy's questionable. There's a Q on him. Just like Adrian had the Q on Elijah Mitchell. And explains why. And it looks like he's got a groin issue. Nobody get excited. Those hurt, especially on men. So he's got a groin issue. And it's analysis of, oh, he should be okay. He's been playing through it. Or we really need to keep an eye on him. Blah, 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 blah. You might see, here's one that I'm clicking on. clicked on the wrong area. Oh, so now I'm on the feed column on the far left. Okay, below, and then there's the league feed, which is just like what's going on in your league, or the fantasy news. So here's where you can read up. Every day there's going to be a new article, and it's only going to take you 2 minutes to read. And it's going to say, here's the players that you want to play if you got them, or here's the players if you have them, you may want to bench them this week because they're up against tough matchups, or here's the players if you need to go get another player. Maybe you want to trade this one out because this one's hot. It tells you right there. It's straightforward. So here it's telling you, I forgot the name of the article, but players that are probably being underestimated. Now, these players are all very good players, but they might be getting they might be listed at lower levels than they otherwise should be. So that is it, ladies. Hopefully this is useful and helpful, and I'm sure you can find me. I am here for you. Let's see if I can go back. Right there. XY is in the house.